Christopher has diabetes. His pancreas can't produce enough insulin. That's the hormone which regulates his blood sugar levels. If those levels aren't kept in check, he can become dizzy and sick. He could collapse or even die. So at least 10 times a day, he has to test his blood
And I'll just push the blood out of my finger.
and inject insulin when the levels get too high. Last summer, Christopher was one of a handful of children who got to try something that researchers are calling the bionic pancreas. It's a wireless device that automatically regulates his blood sugar. Wearing something like that full-time would mean that Christopher could spend less time worrying and more time having fun by the water. Edward Damiano is the engineer behind this new device. His son has diabetes, so he knows firsthand how hard it can be to manage this disease.
It occupies a lot of our attention. More and more of it is going to be falling on him, and ultimately all of it will. And that's been my goal, is to build a device that will unburden him of that. I'm linking the phone to the two pumps right now.
This smartphone is the brain of the bionic pancreas. It communicates via Bluetooth with diabetes tools that were previously offline. A monitor reads the patient's blood sugar, and based on that reading, the phone sends instructions to pumps worn by the patient.
It'll see my blood sugar. It puts a little red asterisk there, so that's the 102. And then it'll start delivering insulin.
The pumps administer the correct dose of hormones to keep blood sugars in check, just like a real pancreas.
It automatically adapts to their insulin needs continuously throughout the day in and day out, making 288 decisions every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Dr. Stephen Russell is collaborating with Dr. Damiano.
The bionic pancreas works all night when they're asleep, and it's paying attention when they're not paying attention. So it uses all of that information to achieve average blood glucoses that meet those goals that we set based on complications in everybody.
My basal rate is really low.
After several successful trials in controlled environments, the device is now being tested in the real world. That's one of the last steps before government approval, which could make the bionic pancreas a breakthrough in diabetes treatment.
I think if I had the bionic pancreas, diabetes would become less of a hindrance, and it would almost like, it'd become like less of like a roadblock for me. Like I could do so much more with it.
No, it's so cold.
Dealing with diabetes may never be as easy as a day at the beach. But the bionic pancreas could make those beach days a whole lot easier. Kate Daly, BBC News, Boston.